Okay, just wanted to do a real quick video on my new hammock stand. It's really simple. There's a name for this type stand, but I can't remember what it is. I just looked up different types of hammock stands on the internet. It's just a couple of 2x2s with an eye bolt running through it. Use a couple of washers, come a couple of inches down and put you a eye bolt through it. They were 8-foot 2x2s. I cut them off. I didn't really measure them. I just, after I put the eye bolt in, I put that part on the ground and stood it up, and I spread them out about a little wider than shoulder width apart, and then I marked them at head high, which is about 6'5" for me. So I don't know, there's between 6'5" and 7 foot long. That's really all there is to it. When you set it up, you don't want them to be straight up and down. You want them to kick in at an angle, and that just puts some of your compression force on the legs instead of putting everything on the rope. I initially tried to do it with one stake, and it wouldn't hold. The ground where I'm at's kind of soft, so I had to go with 2 stakes, and basically it's just a piece of 2-foot long rebar. I put a cable clamp on the ends to give my string tie something to tie to, and I'm using these little Night Eyes clamps. I don't even know what they call these things, but they're pretty cool. They're handy. I screwed a little eyelet in the top to tie my tarp off to, and I had a little trouble at first because this does have some flex to it. When you get in the hammock and put your weight on it, it'll pull in some. It pulls it together, and that would, when I had my tarp tied off with the rope that's on my tarp, it would leave it slack. So I just put a bungee cord on both ends, and it takes up the slack when you get in it, so your hammock, your tarp stays pretty tight. I did use like a ridge line. Like, okay, I've got my eye bolt here and my hammock strap hanging on the eye bolt. I use this ridge line so that when I set it up, each time I set it up, I get it the same distance apart. I'm going to leave this ridge line attached, and when I take it up and fold the stakes up, I'm just going to wrap this ridge line around it and tie it up, and that just gives me something to set my distance with, and it's approximately 15 feet apart. That gives me enough room that I can get away from the stand with my straps and my carabiners, and I've got good coverage with my tarp, and it gives me a little room for my bungee cords to play. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're in a park where you can't tie to a tree, or a campground where they won't let you tie up to a tree, or you're out in the middle of a field or whatever, it's pretty cool to have a way to set up and hammock camp when you don't have any trees around.